smack it, piss and pan in a flying machine. They go up to the up, up, they go down to the up, down.
So here we are, right, as you can see, these are the templates so far. This is a rough fuse template. I've just drawn it out of my head really, there's no plan, I'm just giving it a rough idea. I started off with the wing, I got a wing rib, okay, I made that as a template, and as you can see on here, I've drawn them all out. You need 14, okay, and then you do your wing ribs first, because that's your guide. I use the wing ribs first, and then I space it out. The wingspan is 22 foot, 24 inches, and then you include your wing tips at the end. Okay, so it's roughly going to be about, all in all with them two, about 28 inches with the wing tips. Okay, so that's quite a little plane. Okay, and the fuse, I believe the fuse is only about 24 inches long, if that is it. Yeah, it's about, so yeah, 24. See? So there you go. So you've got it. Okay, and as I go along, I'll make the tail plane, and I'll just tie it up. Okay, as I go. So I'm gonna get, like I said, I'm gonna get a little electric motor, put it in the front. There's enough room there for a little battery, a ESC unit or whatever they call it. So that'll all fit in nicely. The undercarriages, I've got so many undercarriage spares that I'm gonna have a problem there. And I've got millions and millions of wheels. So we shall see how it all pans out in the end. But to be fair, I'll probably make this, work's really heavy at the moment, so I would say, given the amount of time I've got at the end and how tired I am or whatever after work, I would say probably this, or after this finished, built, everything ready before my Gladiator turns up. So there you go. So anyway, onwards and upwards. So the next stage now is to cut out the sides of the fuse with and cut out all the wing ribs, and cut out the tailplane tips, the wing tips. And then basically when they're done, I'll concentrate on the tailplane, which is dead easy to do. Okay, and I'll onwards and upwards, see how it goes. It's not very difficult, it's just so simple to make. I will actually video this in stages, so anybody who fancies having a go at building their own little trainer plane, and I might add, you could upsize it to like the size of a Watt 4 or a limbo dancer, you know, if you want something a bit bigger to get used to, because this might be a bit tricky for a beginner, being small. But either way, you know, I'll show you how it's done and basically how cheap it can be. Okay, so here's this little plane I was on about to make for my friend so he can smash it up when he tries to learn to fly. Jelly. So I'll have a little laugh at it anyway. So this was, well, so like I said before in the previous video, it's for me waiting for my Gloucester Gladiator, so I thought I'd make something out of scrap balsa, you know, to mess about. Stop messing about. Just going to carry on. But there you go, anyway, so there's the fuse, it's a basic fuse. Okay, I will tie it up a bit so it doesn't look something like that thing it ends in 4, and it's got a W at the front. But it does look similar to a Watt 4, doesn't it? But it ain't going to look like that when it's finished, trust me. So anyway, it's just a basic fuse, that's all there is, much as a Watt 4 is. So, you know, to give you the specs on it, it's hard to say because I just drew that out of my own head. I just measured it and drew it. You know, I used the wing rib as a guide and just cut it as you do. And then the tail plane, like you say, the tail plane, I just did that as well. I drew it by eye, you know, sort of give it the right idea. And then, so we take the tail plane out, and take the fin out even, and there's your tail plane, sort of thing like that. You know, put the holes in it and lighten it up as much as possible. You do, and I was debating whether I put the servos, the mini servos up here, but I thought, you know what, it won't really matter because I'm going to put a really good big electric motor. Hopefully Martin Thompson will have one for me, and I'll get a big electric motor in the front, and yeah, I'll put everything in the battery and that all up front here, so the weight is at the front. And then what I'll do is I'm going to just use this as an example, get a piece of old plastic cup, or I'll get a bottom of a Coke bottle, or top of a Coke bottle even, yeah. And then once the motor's in situ, I'll cut it back so it's there, you know, to make up the cowling. Simple plastic cowling I do. And then I made this few undercarriage out of a bit of old thin alloy, which is nice. And then what I'll do is because I noticed that, you know, you don't want it sort of bending when it lands, so I'll put a rod in between the two with the wheels, and that adds a bit more weight up the front, which will go under there, like you do. Okay, and then sort of like self-explanatory really. Put the bits in you need. So that's the basic run of it. It's 5 centimeters wide all the way down, and then tapers to 4 centimeters there, and then the tape at the back, so it's just there. You know, it really is just a piece of laugh, you know, as they say. And we'll see, innit? We shall see. And that's the idea. That's generally the idea. I'm going to get a wing rib, just to show you if I can get it right. And the wing rib sits in there, like so, if I can get it in. Ta-da, see? So the wing rib sits there, and the tail plane sits on there. So you see how it's coming together. Okay? It really is just a bit of a laugh. If it doesn't fly, it'll be a bit, it'll fly, anything flies. You can fly bloody saucepans, so it'll fly. It might fly very well, but it'll fly, and it'll be a laugh. You know, and if it crashes and smashes, though, who cares? It's only a bit of fun, right? I just thought I'd do it, so that's as far as it goes. You know, that's the way it is. You know, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure what to cover it with yet. I'm just sort of deciding that. But this really is the basic, because it will be all shaped and round. You know, because I don't like that boxy shape. So we shall see. Okay, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the next stage. And I'm getting really sick of listening to Elvis Presley doing this build. But it has to be done. Right, so there you go. Okay? So that's it. Oh yeah, and these are just little thing offcuts of ply, just to strengthen it a bit. So here we are. It's not exactly like you people have said what for my backside. Anyway, so here we are. This is a rough mock-up of the tail plane, as you can see, which is nothing like a what for. Jelly. Okay. Obviously you steal ideas from everywhere. So as you can see on the side here, I've just thought I'd leave this side to show you what I've done to get the bodywork the way I want it. You know, so you have to put these in because the covering's so thin, wafer thin, that you need as much as you can to like protect it. You know, when you put your fingers on it, you don't crush it. And when you've done all that, as you can see, it'll end up like that. See, nice and solid. Okay. All right. So that there is how it's going to look, like so. And the reason I've left the front is because my mate Sean Wilkinson, I got two guys on the job. I got Mr. Sean Wilkinson, who's looking for a motor for me, and I can't solder, but he's brilliant at it, so he's going to do all that for me in the ESC unit, or whatever it's called, get it all working so I can get that. And Martin Thompson, bless him, he's looking at the side of it as well to get me whatever motors and stuff. Sean's going to make me a cowling for the front, because I was going to use a Coke bottle, because let's see, Coke bottle. So I could use a Coke bottle, I suppose, but I prefer to get a proper cowling, because I want the nice cowling. It's simply to that up there with the knobbly bits, because my mate Tony likes the knobbly bits, so we'll put that on. So that's why I've left this bit here. Plus I put shelving in here, because they can put weights on it, because of the tail and that. People ask me why I put the servos in the back, because I'm just lazy. Right, and it's easier to put them in there. Right, and I'll just weight the front, because the electric motor will pull it to bits, so it's alright. So you see it's all done, right? So we've got that bit there, right? And then the wing, the famous wing, right? Which looks nothing like a what for wing. And that'll slide in like so. Watch it won't fit now. It'll fit, it'll fit. There you go. So here you have the what for wing in. See how it's all coming together? It's a nice little wing. See, quite a pretty plane really. See, if that looks like a what for to people, then I reckon you need to get your eyes tested. Go black blinking Specsavers. So there you have that bit. So it's looking more like it should be. Okay, so that's that. Right, that's mainly it. Okay, and we'll play with this here and there. And don't worry, we'll put it all nice. Okay. Mummy. Alright, there you go. So that's that. And now, if I get my camera later, pan over. Somebody asked me about the plans, right? Well, I didn't have any plans. Like I said in the previous video, I made it out of my head. Alright, so if you can pan onto this. This is the wing plan, right? You basically just measure out the width of your wing, the wingspan, which is 34 inches on this particular plane. And I just draw straight lines on a piece of paper for your wing ribs, as you do. And your wing tips are at the end. You just cut them to whatever shape you want, which I've done. And obviously here, yes, it does look like a what for there, because that's what I call the chassis, right, or chassis. right, before I do anything else with it. And it's just, to me, he copied it from a World War II glider plane, so he can do what he says what he likes. But anyway, that's the image I used. So what I've done is, and there's the templates. There's a template, like, you know, a template, and that's the wing rib template, which I cut out my own head. Right, I didn't copy anything, I just made it myself. And the same with the tail plane. Okay, and actually I've got a video I made using the Music 150 of how to make this. So if somebody wants to watch that, just look up on my, I haven't got a website, have I? Just look on my timeline, I suppose, and you'll see how I did the tail plane. Dead easy enough. And that's obviously the fin. Okay, these are the ailerons. Right, okay, so, you know, and they'll go on all right. They're done. That's nearly there now. And then, now I've got my camera lady. I asked my friend what type of wheels he wanted. I gave him a choice, and he likes these wheels. So, as much as ridiculous as it looks, they'll be the wheels. Mad, innit? Look how big them wheels are, man. They are massive. But that'll be alright. That's what he wants. So, we'll put it on in a little tailplane wheel at the back, and they are monster wheels, aren't they? So, but who cares? It's a bit of fun. It's only a bit of a fun, this plane. Okay. And if they are too heavy for it, then I'll put smaller wheels on. But that's what he wanted. Balloon wheels. God knows why, but it does. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So basically, the next stage is to put this side on, put the fairing side on, okay, put the bottom on. And the reason I haven't made the fin is because obviously I want to make sure everything's on first, and then I'll cut the fin to the right size, okay, and fettle it and like you do, and it's all there. There's not much more. Until I get an electric motor, I can't really do any of this. Where my fingers are, because I ain't sure how to go about it. As I said before, looking at me, this is all made out of my head. There is no plans from anywhere. It's just out of my head. You know, I thought I'd make one for a joke, and it's just to say thank you because my friends helped me out so much. So I thought I'd make him a little plane that he wants. And Martin Thompson, bless, is going to sort me out with a transmitter and a receiver thing, so he can have the whole lot in one go for him to fly. And I've made it practically indestructible because he's never flown a plane before, so why not? I'll teach him what I can, and when he crashes it, which he will, at least it might survive and it'll be easy to repair. Okay, so there you have it in a nutshell. Here we have the finished product. Okay, I've turned his little plane, his little trainer. Okay, so there's not much more to say from the other videos because it's a bit mixed, but there we have this is like a 24-inch wingspan, and I got the cowling moulded by Sean Wilkinson, done the mould for me on the cowl, so that was quite handy. Excuse me. So it's there, ready to go, and the big fat wheels. So you know, I think it's his initials, date of birth and initials. That's what he wanted on his plane. So you know, it just what was it? I'll turn it around. And the underneath, put it against the pot. So you see, limited space here. That's the bottom. I'm quite pleased with the colour scheme. I like the see-through vellum. This is quite nice. So, yeah. And all in all, this thing with the scrap wood I had, and when I think back now, there's a little slight confession that this is a video I've made months after I've built it. I mean, in fact, this is over a year ago since I built this plane, so, you know, from my mate and that, so, it's just thinking back. So if we basically turn it around, see, I like the fat tyres on it, I must admit. It's just more of a joke, comical plane in them days. Yeah. So, yeah, I think the total cost to build it was, I think all in all, when I bought the motor included in the batteries, they were the sort of expensive part, really. So, all in all, realistically, I already had the covering, so you can't really count that. I think it costs about, all in all, with the motor and the batteries, about 60 quid, you know, and that's from scratch. you know, including the cost of the cowling, because I had the rest of the materials that were just sitting in the workshop. Hence why I did it whilst I was waiting, I believe, for the other plane to turn up, the Gloucester Gladiator. So I had plenty of time between that time to get waiting for it, and it was ordered. So we had a bit of fun with it. And that, so we'll see. He's not off this time. He hasn't made it yet. We haven't had a chance, to be fair, with one thing or another, with the COVID and stuff like that, you know. So we haven't really had a chance to get her out in the field. You know, with one thing leads to another, you know. So hopefully, once this is all over, hopefully this year we'll get a bash at it in the field. Okay, so that's mainly it. Compared to my one, so you can see how small it is, because that's a 1/5 scale behind it, Sopwith pup, and you can so you can see that it's like, you know, quite a toty little thing, and that was the whole idea, just to get a sort of, it don't weigh nothing. I think it weighs about, doesn't even weigh over £1. That's how light it is, so it's not going to have a problem. I mean, we did a dry run with the motor on it. Oh man, yeah, I am, even to this day, I'm so surprised how powerful those little electric motors are, you know, once you put a prop on the end of them. So yeah, it's quite cool. Anyway, that's that. So we'll see. Okay then, lovely. Right, well, thanks for watching it. I know this one is a bit, the build isn't a proper build video, it's just a sort of like one I put through, you know, because it was on archive video really. But I thought somebody would be interested just to see how it comes out, you know. Basically a plane built out of scraps, you know, and I just thought it would be good to see it. Anyway, any comments, feel free to put a comment below. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.
Those magnificent men, those magnificent men, those magnificent men.